Sharafi, Mr. Nelson are present. Mr. Miu is present. We are outside the presence of the jury. We are about to resume the trial. There are a few administrative matters that I have on my list. Mr. Nelson mentioned something that he has. Why don't we take that one up first?
Judge, three things. One is, my understanding of the court's order is that when court is not in session, there's no photography, no filming. I just wanted to make sure that that is still the standing order, and if so, if you could remind the media of that. Two is, I'm concerned, don't have a lot of space here. Things have to, in the modern age, we work on our computer. I understand people can look at it with their eyes, but I'm concerned if the media is taking photographs or even inadvertently showing my screen, if I have anything up on my screen. So if Your Honor could make an order that says they, A, do their best to try to not do that, and B, if they do accidentally, to just blur it out or something along those lines. I don't think that what's on my screen should be public. I think, at least if it's on this desk, it should be work product and protected. Three is, I'm worried about the microphones. I understand that they pick up even when I'm whispering things to my client. If possible, my preference would be that our microphone is on mute unless we are actively cross-examining a witness.
Okay. Mr. Anderson, Mr. Smestad, anything on those topics?
Yes. I think, frankly, I've gotten kind of the same feedback that whispering is being caught on the cameras. We also, I think, the media room, the door is open, and we managed yesterday with witnesses who are sequestered by putting them in separate conference rooms. We don't want to put them together when they're sequestered, but on a day like today where we have several lined up, we might quickly run out of spaces to put them. So if they could either close the door or use headphones so that the whole hallway isn't getting the audio from the trial.
All right, please have your victim witness coordinator talk to my judicial assistant. They can speak with the folks in the media conference room to see what can be done about that. As far as the microphones are concerned, I received the same feedback. I spoke to my staff. So what we plan to do is mic the tables unless someone is speaking. Right now you're both speaking, so they're both active. But once we get into witness examination, only the examining table mic will be live. The other will be silent. So that's the plan going forward. I just will revisit the media expectations because we do have pool cameras and a different videographer on each day. So my rule allows cameras in the courtroom on the condition that there be no photography of the jury, there be no photography of certain victims who do not wish to be photographed. Those will be identified before they get up and speak. There's no recording while court has adjourned. By adjourned, meaning we're in recess, the judge is off the bench and walks away. That's what I mean by adjourned. There may be interruptions in the proceedings. Those do not constitute adjournments. So if I'm not wearing my robe and I'm not on the bench, we're not going to be recording. I believe also my media order restricted recording what I would consider to be private conversations between the attorneys, between the defense lawyers and their client, and conferences up at the bench. Those are private conversations not to be shared with the public. So there'll be no recording of those conversations either. All right.
Judge?
Yes.
Maybe it wasn't regarding my computer screen and regarding still photography. Is there any response, or is that just?
Well, I consider that to be part of what I just talked about.
Okay.
Communications at the table.
Okay.
So I just ask everybody to please be sensible and responsible with their devices. We're not here to pry and to invade people's privacy. If there's problems, let me know and I can revisit the topic. If there's ways that you can mitigate viewing of your screen, that might help. To the extent you can, there's probably 60, 70 people sitting behind you who have the same view as the photographers. Okay. There was a request yesterday during jury selection about preventing media access to certain exhibits. Mr. Anderson, did you want to speak more on that?
No, Judge, I think the only authority is essentially Marcy's law, and it's pretty vague. It just victims' right to privacy. I recognize it's a public trial, so there's no defined definition of that in the case law that I'm aware of.
All right. So yesterday, the state made a request to prohibit media access and recording of certain exhibits that might come into evidence, in particular autopsy photos. In my judgment, I have no authority to grant that request. In fact, I think the request infringes on First Amendment rights. This is a public trial, and the media have a First Amendment right to report what's happening in the courtroom. Wisconsin Supreme Court rule allows cameras to record events in the courtroom. The rules allow the judge to prohibit recording of the jury, as I explained, and prohibits recording of victims at their request. That exception, however, does not extend to physical exhibits that are offered and received into evidence. Exhibits are open to the public. Anyone may request a copy. No legal basis exists to seal from the public the evidence presented in this trial. And even if it did, the sealing would apply to the entire public, not just members of the media or reporters. To tell media outlets that they cannot publish images of evidentiary exhibits from a public trial is, in my opinion, a clear example of what's called prior restraint, which is an infringement on First Amendment rights. So I understand people's interest in maintaining privacy. As a parent, as a human being, I would want the same thing. But as a judge, my decision must conform to the rule of law, so that's why I'm denying the request. Okay. Yesterday, at the end of the day, there was mention about some witnesses that might need to be spoken to.
Yeah, I did. They're all here, I believe. So I spoke with Quentin Carlson. He assured me he'll be here any day he's told by either side. I think he said he got confused because he knew his sons were supposed to come in today. So he thought he was supposed to come in today. I think what we'll probably do is just call him today since he's here, actually, although it's a little out of order. We plan to go. So I think that should alleviate that issue. 3 of the witnesses are Spanish speakers. I believe we have an interpreter that's available by Zoom.
Yes.
So I'd ask the court to instruct them to be here Friday when we have that day allotted with a Spanish-speaking interpreter. And then there may be, I don't know if there might be a 4th who prefers an interpreter. He gave his interview in English, and then there's another English speaker that was with Nick's group.
So what you want me to do now is speak to the Spanish-speaking witnesses with the aid of an interpreter and have them come back Friday morning at 8 a.m.?
Yes.
Okay. Are they in the courtroom now?
No, they're right outside.
Okay. Mr. Sharafasi?
I think that's reasonable.
Okay. All right. Please bring the witnesses in. I'll bring the interpreter up on Zoom. Hey, Ms. Marine, this is the judge speaking. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning. Would the witnesses please come forward?
Los testigos, por favor, acérquense.
Over here. Stand over here. All right. Please administer the interpreter's oath.
Do you solemnly swear
Por favor, háganle prestar juramento a la intérprete.
that you will make a true translation
Jura solemnemente que hará una interpretación fiel,
to the best of your ability,
según su leal saber y entender,
between the English language
entre el inglés
and the Spanish language.
y el español,
So help you God.
y que la ampare Dios. Sí lo juro. Yes, I do.
Thank you. Mr.
Gracias.
Anderson, please introduce the witnesses to me.
So we have,
Señor Anderson, por favor, presénteme a los testigos.
1 second, Ariel, what's your last name?
Un momentito, ¿cuál es su apellido? Arel Chávez.
I just got to pull it up, Judge, sorry. So we have Ernesto Torres Chagas, and then we have Alba Torres Chagas, and
Y tenemos también a Ernesto Torres Chávez y Alba Torres Chávez
Ariel Chagas Layet.
y Arel Chávez. The interpreter was not able to hear the second last name. ¿Cuál es su segundo apellido, señor? Arel Chávez. ¿Es Arel Chávez Chávez?
Chagas Leyet.
Leyet. Chávez Leyet.
And then Amanda Torres.
Y Amanda Torres.
Good morning, everyone.
Buenos días a todos. Good morning.
Each of you are witnesses in this trial.
Cada uno de ustedes son testigos en este juicio
You have been summoned to appear in court to testify.
y se les ha citado para comparecer en el tribunal a dar su testimonio.
By law, you are required to attend.
Por ley, ustedes tienen la obligación de asistir.
Failure to appear in court may result in penalties.
Si ustedes no asisten al tribunal, pueden recibir penalizaciones.
Mr. Anderson, when would you like the witnesses to appear?
Señor Anderson, ¿cuándo quisiera usted que los testigos vengan a comparecer?
For the Spanish-speaking witnesses, so Ariel, Alba, and Ernesto, Friday at 8 a.m.
Para los testigos de habla hispana, el señor Arel Chávez y Ernesto, quiero que vengan el viernes por la mañana.
And Amanda on Wednesday at 1 p.m.
Y Amanda, quiero que venga el miércoles a la 1 de la tarde.
You all understand when you need to return?
¿Entienden cuándo es que tienen que regresar? Yes.
Excellent.
Your Honor, this is the interpreter. I just want to make sure that I heard correctly. Arel and Ernesto on Friday morning and Amanda Wednesday at 1 p.m.
Correct.
Sí, es la intérprete, solo quiero asegurarme que escuché correctamente. Arel y Ernesto el viernes en la mañana y Amanda el miércoles a la 1 de la tarde.
Do you have any questions?
¿Tienen alguna pregunta?
No.
No.
Mr. Anderson, do you need anything else?
No, thank you, Judge.
Mr. Trofasi, do you need
Señor,
Yes, sir.
señor Anderson, ¿necesita algo más? Señor licenciado, ¿necesitan algo más? No, señor.
Thank you all for being here today. You are excused.
Gracias a todos. Gracias a todos por venir aquí el día de hoy y se pueden retirar por hoy.
Have a nice day.
Thank you. Thank you. And Your Honor, I assume you need my services on Wednesday at 1?
No, we do not.
All right.
We had
Thank you
one-
very much.
We had one English-speaking witness. The 3 Spanish-speaking witnesses are all on Friday at 8 a.m.
Oh, okay. Yes, Your Honor. And just for clarification, I didn't hear Miss Alba Torres I didn't hear that she was asked to be back on Friday.
That's Amanda, correct?
No, Alba
Amanda.
Torres was the
Al-
in the middle, or second from the right.
So you need an
Is-
interpreter Friday morning at 8 a.m., correct?
Yes,
Not Wednesday at 1.
correct.
So,
We're all set then. All right.
set.
Thank you very much.
all right.
Friday. Thank you.
Monica. Bye now.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Okay, is there anything else that we need to address outside the presence of the jury?
I have a couple things, Judge. One, we've had a couple victims ask if they are allowed to watch the trial via the streaming. I know they have a constitutional right to be present. It's probably kind of a gray area if they can watch it streaming, but I'd make that request that they be able to watch it streaming. I know we often have a full courtroom in the yesterday and again today.
Mr. Truffesing?
So, Judge, I guess I understand they have a right to be present and watch this. I guess what Mr. Nelson and I are asking is, if they're not going to be present, so we would know if they're here and they're watching, if we can get, if they'll disclose what they watched, who they spoke to about it, if they spoke to anybody about it, then I don't have as big of an issue, if that's okay.
Any objection?
I think it'd be, I mean, we can certainly try to ask them, but I think they could ask on cross too, as long as it's clear that they were allowed to.
Yeah. I'll allow it. Again, the purpose of the sequestration order was to prevent witnesses from conforming their evidence to something that they hear. The statute allows an exception for victims who are allowed to sit through the entire court proceeding. So whether they see it in the courtroom or watch it at home, it makes no difference. Unlike jurors, they're not prohibited from accessing media reports and watching television and things like that. But it is a basis for asking questions. And it may go to their credibility if they're being influenced by outside sources. So the request is granted along with the request to ask questions. Is there anything else?
A couple other things, Judge. We've discussed, counsel and I, about body cam if it's needed, if we need to play body cam of a witness for impeachment or another permissible purpose. That I think we're in agreement that we just play it without calling the officer to say, is this your body cam, or showing it to the witness first and saying, is this your interview? The parties could just play it.
I do not expect there to be an objection to foundation for any law enforcement videos. So we should probably still mark it and indicate what the clip is, but we're not going to object because the videographer or recorder isn't here.
All right. What else?
One other thing. So Deputy Rhyley, who is on the dive team looking for evidence, our plan is to get him in this week. He would like to be excused from the second week. It's fine with the state if it is with defense, and he's not on their witness list.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. I know if there's something comes up and he can't testify, I think we previously talked about the information that witness had maybe being offered or entered through another law enforcement witness, so I'm sure we can figure it out.
Okay.
I think that's all I had, Judge. And then I think counsel asked if we could just have maybe a really brief recess to talk about the first witness.
Well, it's almost 8:30, so.
Judge, I guess we can do it on the record. I don't want to act like I'm sandbagging anybody. I understand that Isaac Schuman's mother is going to testify first. And the question that I was going to ask and just make sure is we're not getting into any 90404 evidence regarding character of the victim. There was no motion on that. And we've heard nothing of that. And I just want to make sure that when she testifies, we're not going into an area where there would need to be presumably a motion filed.
Mr. Anderson, were you intending to go into those areas?
No, I specifically instructed her not to say that he's trustworthy or peaceful or anything like that. I'm going to ask about her family. I'm going to ask her about Isaac, show the same photos I showed at opening, have her identify those. I'm going to ask her one question about like what he did for hobbies so he's not this abstract person, that the jury has some understanding of who Isaac was, and then what happened on that day.
Okay. Well, I'll just state so everyone knows what we're talking about. Character evidence is generally prohibited in trials. There's very few narrow exceptions, and I think the attorneys are trying to identify whether or not one of those exceptions is going to be discussed either intentionally or inadvertently. I think we're all on the same page, so if something does come up, raise an objection, and I can deal with it.
Very good. Thank you, Judge.
All right, anything else, Mr. Anderson?
No.
All right, Mr. Strafasi?
I have nothing, Judge.
All right, we stand in recess. Let's bring the jury up. This will probably take a moment, or they're downstairs. It'll probably take a few moments for them to come up.
Yeah.
Let me see what I wrote my decision.
Judge, Your Honor said you were in recess, and they're still recording as I stand here right now when we do that.
Yes,
So.
and like I said, if the judge is on the bench wearing his robe, we're in session.
Okay.
Okay.
I just want to make sure I know.
If you want me to leave, I'll leave.
I do not, Judge. I didn't understand it. I apologize.
Just got an email from Megan, and she said if you hit F2 on your computer, it puts a glare on the screen so people can see it. F2.
I don't care if I see mine. Here's the same ones. This one here. I just sent you an email with the answer. And again, Mr. Anderson, you have to tell us what witnesses are not going to be recorded. So, She has no issue with being recorded last we spoke.
okay.
So there's Rhyley, Maddie.
Sounds like they're close by.
All rise for the jury.
All right, please be seated. Members of the jury, good morning. Welcome back. Thank you for being so prompt this morning. The attorneys and I had some administrative matters that we had to address outside your presence. Those matters took a little bit longer than I expected, so that was the reason for the delay. We are ready to resume the trial evidence. Mr. Anderson, who is your next witness?
State calls Elena Hernandez.
Ms. Hernandez, please come forward. There you go, right there. Face the clerk, raise your right hand and be sworn.
Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give will be true to your best ability, so help you God?
Please have a seat in the witness chair. Mr. Anderson.
Can you please state your first and last name and spell your names for record?
Elena Hernandez, ALINA HERNANDEZ.
Elena, where do you live?
Stillwater,
And how long have you lived there?
8 years.
And do you work currently?
No,
What do you do prior for work?
I owned a salon and spa business for about 20 years.
Now you're a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
Who Who's in your family, immediate family?
My husband, Donnie Hernandez. Alexis, she's 27. Jacob is 21. And Isaac was 17.
So I want to ask you a little bit about Isaac. What did Isaac like to do for fun? What kind of hobbies did he have?
Isaac had a lot of hobbies. He loved his family and traveling. We love to travel, and he had his own business, and he had recently started, and he detailed boats and cars. He worked down at the marinas and detailed boats. He started a mobile detailing business, and he loved to golf. We lived on the golf course, and he golfed almost every day. He loved boating, fishing. His friends, his girlfriend.
And when Isaac was killed, he was before senior year of high school.
Yes.
Did he have plans for after high school?
Yes. He was an honor roll student, and he loved school, and he was going to go to school for engineering. He was hoping Madison.
Yes, you may.
Elena, I'm showing you what's marked as Exhibit 1. It's 3 photos. Can you just go through them? Or actually, first, can you just tell me what their photos are?
My son Isaac, was his junior picture. And then his 17th birthday, his last birthday. And then this one is the day he bought a trailer for his mobile detailing business. And he texted me and said, "Mom, come out and see my new trailer." And the dog and I ran out, and he uses for his business.
Can you ask to publish?
Any objection? What was the number?
Exhibit 1.
1 is received.
Do I have the screen up? Elena, when was the last time you saw Isaac alive?
The morning of July 30th, before he left.
Did you know he was going to go tubing with friends?
Yes.
How did you know that?
Well, he originally told me in the morning that he was going to go golfing and with his friend, but his friend had to work. He ended up having to work, so they were going to golf later that evening. And so I was out on the deck having coffee with my sister-in-law, and he came out and said, "Some of the guys are going tubing on the river, and I think I'm going to do that until we can go golfing." And I said, "Okay." And the way I said okay wasn't like I was super excited about it. And he's like, "Why?" And I said, "Well, I was going to ask you to pick Dad up from the airport. Dad got a flight home." And he said, "I can pick Dad up." And I said, "No, just go have fun with your friends on the river."
Did you know who Isaac was going with, tubing?
Yeah. He said they were meeting up at the high school and that Alex was driving. And I said, okay, don't forget your sunscreen. And I grabbed it and I put sunscreen on his ears.
And at some point, did you learn what happened?
Yes, so then my sister-in-law and I went down and they had lunch downtown Stillwater. And then my husband had taken an Uber home from the airport and he was gonna meet us down there. And we were waiting for him and I got a call from Owen's phone. And I thought, maybe Isaac's phone went dead or he lost it or something, and so he was calling me from Owen's phone. But Owen called screaming that Isaac had been stabbed. And he gave me the pin drop of where to get to, and my husband was just pulling up, and I ran out of the restaurant and hopped in his car, and we got there in, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes.
What happened when you got there?
Well, we followed the ambulances, and I just went running, and I ran up into one of the ambulances thinking that it was Isaac sitting up in there, and I started crawling into the ambulance, and I realized it wasn't Isaac, it was one of the other kids. And so then I climbed out, and then I looked, and I saw Isaac's hair laying on the riverbank. I knew it was him. And they were trying to perform CPR on him.
Did you go to Isaac?
Yeah, I ran to Isaac.
And when you got to Isaac, was it clear he was already deceased?
Yes.
I don't have any other questions, Judge.
Mr. Schroffelsy?
I have no questions for Mr. Hernandez.
Thank you. You may step down. Mr. Anderson, who is the next witness?
Jawan Cockfield, Judge.
Could you spell his last name while we're waiting?
Mr. Cockfield?
Yes.
Cockfield.
Mr. Cockfield, please come forward. Face the clerk, raise your right hand. She will administer the oath.
Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give us shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please have a seat in the witness chair. Mr. Smestad.
Will you please state your name for the record?
My name is Jawan Cockfield,
How do you spell your last name?
Cockfield,
How do you spell your first name?
Jawahn.
How old are you?
I'm 19 years old.
Are you a student or are you working or
Yeah, I'm a student.
where are you a student at?
St. John's University.
What kind of activities are you involved in at St. John's?
I'm a member of the football team and the wrestling team, and I study global business.
That's your major field?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with a person named Isaac Schuman?
Yeah.
How did you know Isaac?
Isaac's one of my best friends.
How long did you know him?
Since middle school.
Were you with Isaac the day that he was killed?
Yes, I was.
Were you with the group of boys that were with Isaac on the Apple River on July 30th of 2022?
Yes, I was.
Back on July 30th of 2022, how old were you?
I was 17 years old.
Had you finished high school at that point?
No, I haven't started my senior year yet.
Was it the summer before your senior year?
Yeah.
That's my understanding. Folks all rode over with Alex Vang to the river.
Yes, sir.
You ran to his river edge.
Uh-huh.
Is that a yes?
Yeah, sorry.
Did you get on the river?
Say it again?
Did you get on the river after you ran into the two?
Yes, sir.
You folks drinking alcohol?
Yes, sir.
What kind of alcohol did you have?
I had a few beers.
Do you remember how many?
Probably like 3 or 4.
Were you drinking any hard liquor at all?
Not that I recall.
Did you use any other substances?
Yes.
What kind of substances?
We smoked some marijuana.
Did Isaac Schuman smoke any marijuana?
No, he did not.
We've heard from other witnesses that your tubes are all connected together. Do you remember that?
Yes, sir.
At some point, I'll strike that. Did you end up taking some video recordings of some things that happened on the river that day?
Yes, I did.
How did you take those recordings?
My cell phone.
Did you specifically record interactions that your group had with Nicolae Miu, the defendant?
Yes, I did.
Are those recordings in 2 separate segments?
Yeah.
One short, one long?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, we're going to play this short 9-second video here. We can get this okay.
Grown man trying to have sex with little girls. What the hell? What the fuck? Out! He's a raper. Whoa.
Yeah, that was my mistake on the screen blacking out. Once you went to your desktop screen, I closed it.
Your Honor, I'm going to ask her to play it again.
That's fine. It's my mistake.
Grown man trying to have sex with little girls. What the hell? What the fuck? Out! He's a raper. Whoa.
Mr. Cockfield, is that the first video they recorded of Mr. Miu that day?
Yes, sir.
Is that your voice?
Yep.
At that point, were you sitting in a tube?
Yep.
Why did you start recording this?
Because he was just kind of looking suspicious from what I was seeing.
All right, was he, you saw in the video that he was standing a ways away from your group? Mm-hmm. Is that yes?
Yeah.
Had he been closer at some point when you started video recording?
Not during that recording, no.
Right.
Like the first one.
Okay. Did you hear yourself say he's a raper?
Yeah.
What was that all about?
He had said like a weird comment. That's kind of why I started recording in the first place. Like, because he was having his snorkel, and it was like 2 feet deep water. So like, what are you doing? And then he just said like a weird comment, something about like some little girls. And
Did
then,
you have any girls with you in your group?
no, I did not have any girls in my group.
Did you see any other girls on the river near where you were?
Yeah, there were some girls on the river.
Child age girls or?
Not that I saw, no.
Did you know Mr. Miu at all?
No.
Did you know whether he was a pedophile or anything like that?
No, I didn't.
Were you making some conclusions based on what you saw him doing?
Yeah.
Sustained.
After you said he was a raper, did he come closer to your group?
Yeah.
Did you restart your recording?
Yeah, because after I said that, I like looked away and was like, whoa, because he looks really scary when he looked at us. And then I like refloated a little bit. And
You say
then
he looked real scary.
like when I said that, you could see like his face look at me. and like you could see me go like, oh, and then I got scared and then stopped recording.
Did he appear to be angry that you called
Yeah.
him a raper?
Objections, declaration.
One at a time, please.
Objection sustained.
Right. When you saw the look on his face, did you start recording again?
Yeah.
And the second video, was it how long after the first video? Did
Probably like 10 seconds. We had just floated a little bit further.
that play the second part of the video, Your Honor?
No, just keep it off. You have to tell us when you want us to play, or display, rather.
We're ready.
All right.
What is he on? Whoa! 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 Whoa!
Mr. Cockfield, is that the second video that you took that day?
Yes, sir.
Is that your leg in the screen?
Yeah, it is.
Your Honor, for the record, the video is paused at the 6-second mark. Jawan, do you see Mr. Miu's hand grabbing onto your tube there?
I do.
Is he touching your leg?
A little bit, yeah.
Did that cause you concern?
Most definitely.
Did he say anything when he came running up and grabbed onto your tube and by your leg there?
I guess I didn't hear him say anything specifically.
All right. Do you recall who you were sitting next to in the tube?
Yeah, I was sitting right next to Landon Wire.
Landon Wire? Did you know whether he grabbed onto any of, or made contact with any of Landon's body parts?
Yeah, definitely.
You saw that?
Yeah.
Once he grabbed onto your tubes and was touching your legs, what did you do?
I stood up.
All right. Were you concerned that he was reaching out for you?
Yeah.
Were you able to get away?
Not really.
I mean, did you stand up and walk away?
No, I didn't walk away.
Did you get out of your tube?
Yeah, I just stood up in my tube so I didn't float away.
Did he make any further physical contact with you after you were able to stand up?
No.
Did you know this person at all?
No.
Do you remember how long you'd been on the river when he ran up and
I guess I'd have to take an educated guess and say like an hour.
did you, when you first saw him, was he alone or was he with a group of people?
He was alone.
All right, did he ever indicate that he was with other folks?
No, not from what I saw.
Did you say anything to him at the time that he grabbed onto the,
Yeah, I was just saying like, whoa, what are you doing?
all right, is that on the video?
Yes, sir.
Did you threaten him in any fashion?
No.
Did you hear Isaac Schuman say anything to Mr. Miu?
Objection, Counselor Harrison.
Overruled.
Can you say that again?
Did you say anything to Mr. Miu at the time that he ran up and grabbed onto your tubes?
No.
Did you and others start yelling at him to get away?
Yeah.
You remember the kind of language you were using?
Yeah, we were just yelling, like, saying, like, what are you doing? Get out of here.
Were you calling him some names?
Yeah, calling him like a pedophile.
All right, why were you calling him a pedophile?
Because he was running up on some kids, and he had said a weird comment earlier.
Did he grab onto your, or touch your part of your leg?
Yes, sir.
Objection, Spectre, bleeding.
Sustained.
Fair to say you and your friends were making a commotion at that point?
Objection,
Or, yes, sir.
Sustained. On leading.
Did somebody else in the river come over to see what was going on?
Yes.
You know those folks?
I did not.
Do you remember how many folks initially came over to look, check in on you guys?
Not like an exact number, but it was probably like 6 people.
All right. The first two folks over, were they males or females?
First one was definitely a woman.
All right. Did you see the woman speaking to Mr. Miu?
Yes.
Did you hear what she told him?
Yeah, she just told him, like, get away. Like, pointing and, like, get away.
Is that also recorded on the radio?
Yes.
All right. So we're going to play another portion, but before that, I'm going to ask you, has As you're recording this, were you using your cell phone?
Yeah.
Were you holding it close to your face or at arm's length? Like,
I actually had it attached to my neck with like this, like there's like a tourist thing, kind of like you just put it in the pouch or whatever. Like it's attached to my neck, it probably go out like that far.
all right. Is it fair to say that your recording captured some things that you yourself didn't see at the time?
Yes.
Is it fair to say that you're recording, some of the things you're recording, you weren't looking in that direction?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to play from the 6 seconds, Judge.
Tell us when you're ready.
Ready?
It's on the wrong setting. There we go.
It's going to be playing from 7 seconds.
We up! We up, homie! What are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about? What? Get away from us! What? What are you doing? What's going on with y'all, homie? He's on camera. Tripping. He's on 4K. Yo, them new iPhones got that good quality. What did he say? Yeah, what the hell? Who is this? Yes. For the culture. Who is that? For the culture. Who is that? Who the hell is this?
Go. It doesn't matter.
He said he was looking for little girls. He said he was looking for little girls. You're looking for little girls? Yeah. That's exactly what he said. Weirding us out. I even have that part on camera. Did I? Some young ass kid. What the hell is this guy's problem, bro? We trying to have fun. He's gonna claim you? He's gonna claim you. We're not on this whole thing.
Pause at 150.
John, is that essentially more of the video you took that day? Mm-hmm.
Yes, sorry.
Is that your voice sort of narrating what's going on?
Yes.
Was that you saying for the culture?
Yes, sir.
What does that mean?
I guess kind of like for the greater good. It's like a new saying, I guess.
Sort of street slang?
Yeah.
As you're recording that, did you see Mr. Miu take a knife out of his pocket?
I did not with my own eyes.
You've reviewed the video a few times? Mm-hmm. Yes?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yes.
Are you aware now that your video shows him putting
Yes.
up the knife?
Yes.
But you didn't see it at the time?
No.
Still frame judges number 2524. We're ready. We're ready. Jawan, is this a still frame from your video?
Yes.
You see Mr. Miu in the video?
Yes.
You see what he's got in his hands?
Yes.
What is it?
Looks like his knife.
Now, you didn't, was it your testimony earlier, you didn't see him hold the knife or hold the knife? But
No.
did you, while you're recording, see him holding the knife down by his side with the blade facing up?
No.
Going back to still judge, this is 2533. Is this also a picture from your video?
Yes.
What do you see in that still?
I see him holding his knife.
If you had seen him while you're recording the video holding that knife, what would you have done?
Objection, speculation, irrelevant.
Sustained.
At this point in the video, who's standing in front of Mr. Miu, if you remember?
I guess I don't really know her name, but her, I don't really.
Men or women?
It's a woman.
All right. Was there one or two women standing in front of him?
There was two.
All right. At some point, did you see Mr. Miu do something in relation to one of those women?
Yes.
What did you see?
He punched her.
Which one, do you remember?
I think it was the blonde one.
Well, you just watched the video. You're aware your video does not capture that punch.
Yeah.
But you saw it yourself.
Yes.
Sustained.
Were you looking in a different direction than the camera was
And
pointing?
the camera was, yeah.
And at the time that you saw him punch the blonde woman, did you hand the camera over to where your friends were?
Yeah.
After Mr. Miu punched the blonde lady, what happened? What did you see happen?
I saw all of her friends kind of like start going towards him and like try to, I guess, fight him.
All right, and did the fight break out?
Yes.
Did you know any of the names of these folks?
No, I did not.
Did you see somebody strike Mr. Miu?
Yes.
Did Mr. Miu go down?
Yes.
Did you at any point touch him in any way?
No, not once.
Other than the fact that you touched your leg earlier, you did not touch him?
No, I did not.
We're going to play another portion of the video. I think we're ready here. We're playing from 150. Ending at 206, Your Honor. Jawan, did you also record that portion?
Yes.
And as you watch it here today, you see Mr. Miu stabbing folks with a knife.
Mm-hmm. Or yes.
At the time that you recorded that, did you know that was happening?
No.
Is that you laughing in the background?
Yes.
At one point, did you say you hit a woman?
Yeah.
Was that a reaction to what you described earlier?
Yeah.
Did you eventually realize that people were getting hurt?
Yes.
Did you realize that Isaac Schuman had been stabbed?
Yes.
How did you know that?
I kind of just looked down the line of people that were hurt. I saw the first person, like, that's not my friend, that's not my friend, that's not my friend. And the last person I looked at was my guy, Isaac Cam.
As the fight's going on, did you see people bleeding?
Yes.
At some point, did you realize what was happening?
Yes.
And then when you stopped laughing?
Yes.
Judge, we're going back to the video. It'll be from the 206 mark to the end.
God! What the fuck? Wait. What the fuck? He's dying! He's dying, bro! Wait, what? What? Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
Are we serious? Is this real?
Oh my God!
Who is that?
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Is this real? Is this real?
Oh my God! Oh my God! What the fuck?
Is this real? Is this real?
Bike, bro! Bike! Bike!
That's not bike! That's not bike! That's not bike! That's not bike! That's not Isaac! Oh my God! Oh my God! This isn't real! This isn't real!
Jawan, is that the final part of your video that you took that day?
Yes.
At the end, when you were saying that's not Bike, who were you referring to?
Isaac Schuman.
Is that a nickname?
Yeah.
Were you able to see where Mr. Miu went after he stabbed these folks?
No.
Were you concerned about where he went, or were you have other things on your mind?
No.
Did you make your way up to Isaac?
Yeah.
Were you able to see that he had been wounded? Did you try to get some folks to help?
Yeah.
Eventually, did some people stop to help?
Yeah.
Was a nurse one of the people that stopped to help?
Yeah.
Sustained.
Did you know the folks who stopped to help you?
No, I did not.
Eventually, did police and medical personnel show up on the road?
Yes.
Do you know how long it took for them to get there?
Oh, no, I don't.
Did you see Isaac get transported off the river?
Yeah.
Did you follow?
Yeah.
Was he brought up to the road to the bridge?
Yeah.
Did you speak to an officer? At some point, did you tell an officer that you had video of the incident?
Yes, I did.
And did you show that officer the video?
At the time, I just played it to the point where Mr. Miu was in it.
At some point, was the officer able to take a screenshot of a still from your video?
Yes.
That showed Mr. Miu?
Yes.
Approach?
Yes.
Isaac, I'm showing you what's been marked as Exhibit 38. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
Can you tell us what that is?
That's my cell phone with a still frame of Miu on it.
Is that the still frame that the still picture the officer took of your phone that day? Mm-hmm. Is that a yes?
Yes.
I'll move for admission of Exhibit 38.
The objection? Received.
Once you got up off the river, did you speak to a police officer?
Yeah.
Just briefly?
Yeah.
You saw what you saw happen?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
Eventually, was Isaac transported to a hospital?
Yes.
Did you follow?
Yes.
Did you speak to another officer at the?
Yes, I did.
Did you tell that officer what happened?
Yes.
Do you see the person in court who you recorded that day who did this?
Yes, I do.
Point him out, see what he's wearing.
He's wearing navy and gray pants with some brown shoes.
Nothing further.
Mr. Truffesy.
So, Mr. Cockfield, you are currently a two-sport college athlete, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You play football and you wrestle
Yes.
in college?
Yes.
What position in football do you play?
I play defensive end.
Defensive end?
Yes, sir.
Can I ask you, how big are you?
I'm about 5'11", probably like 235.
5'11", 235 is what you said?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And is that what you wrestle at, too?
Heavyweight, yes.
Back in 2022, about the same size?
I was a little bit smaller, yeah.
Wrestle at heavyweight still?
220 pounds, yeah, back then.
So you considered, back in July of 2022, you considered yourself to be a fit young adult, right?
I guess I'd like to think that.
Okay. And I'm going to ask you some questions initially about the interview that you gave with officers, okay?
Okay.
The interview that you gave with officers at the hospital, you indicated that Mr. Miu told you that he was looking for a snorkel. Is that right?
That is what I said.
Okay. You never mentioned to officers that he told you anything about looking for little girls, correct?
If that's what it says.
Well, in a situation where you say he's looking for little girls, do you think it would be important that you would tell officers that he told you he was looking for little girls?
Yeah.
But you never do that, do you?
I guess I didn't.
Did you think it was important?
I guess there was more things that were more important, but that is important in the grand scheme, yes.
Right, so more important was he was looking for a snorkel.
Not really.
Okay, but you mentioned that, right? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. And you say, if I have it right, you had 3 to 4 beers and were using marijuana.
Yes.
Okay. There was vodka that had been brought in by your group.
Okay.
True?
Yes.
In Tito's and in like water bottles.
Yes.
Okay. Did you have any of that?
No.
Okay. So just the 3 or 4 beers and some marijuana.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you also, I guess to your credit, tell the police you guys were antagonizing Mr. Miu, right?
After the fact that he hit the woman, yes, we were.
Well, you don't consider calling him a raper antagonizing him?
I mean, based on what he was doing, and it looked like that really, that made him chase after us afterwards, so who knows what he was really doing.
My question to you is, do you believe telling him that he can't have sex with little girls and calling him a raper would be considered antagonizing?
Yes.
And you were the one who was saying that, right?
Yeah, but that's after he ran up on us and was doing a bunch of weird stuff. Or he looked weird, I guess I could say.
Okay, so
Saying that, yeah.
and you know he's alone, right?
From what I see, he looks alone.
Okay, so, and you know that and what you see, he's kind of an older man?
Yes.
Not very fit?
Yes.
Okay, so you see an older, not very fit man walking alone, and you start calling him names.
As I'm sitting on my tube, I'm saying, what are you doing with the snorkel in 2 feet water? And then he said something weird after that.
What business is it of yours on the river what he's doing? He's not bothering you, right?
I mean, I was interacting with every single person we saw that day on the river.
Okay, so
At least most people.
Jawan, my question remains, what business is it of yours to bother a man who's not bothering you?
I was just asking a question. What are you doing?
What are you doing? And he tells you, I'm looking for a snorkel.
At that point?
Yeah.
But the snorkel was in his hand at that point.
Well, you tell the police that he told you he's looking for a snorkel. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. And you then say, grown man can't have sex with little girls. What the hell? What the fuck? He's a raper. Right?
Uh-huh.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. You have no information as to what this older man is doing, do you?
No.
Okay. And you say, after you call him a raper, he looks over at you, right? Yes?
Or yes.
Wouldn't you suspect somebody that you called a raper to kind of look over at you?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Are you surprised that he looked over at you?
At the time, yes.
When you were calling him names, you're surprised he glanced over at you?
Objection asked and answered.
Overruled. You can answer it.
Yes.
Okay. Now, can I ask you a little bit about this thing, lanyard or whatever, that you were holding your phone in? Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's around your neck?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell the jury how long is it?
It's not like that long. Like I said, I could probably pull my phone out that much, and it's around my neck the whole time.
So can I ask you, in terms of when you're holding it, about how, I know it's not up to your face, okay, but how far away from your face or your chest do you think it would be?
Yes, I could say like 7 inches, 8 inches.
Okay, so you're not able to hold it like I'm, right now my arm is extended. You're not able to do that, right?
Not much.
Okay, so, and I won't get too close to you, but, so you're holding it kind of like this?
Yeah.
Is that fair? Mm-hmm. Okay. And you indicate to police in your interview, they say to you, are you calling him any names? And your response to the police is, there were a couple of us guys calling him a weirdo, right? You told the police that?
Yes.
Okay. You don't tell the police that you're actually calling him a pedophile initially and a raper.
I said on the thing that whatever else I said would be on the video. That's what I said.
Okay. And you don't know what he's doing walking over by where you're at, right?
No.
Okay. So, calling him a raper and saying he can't have sex with little girls, you're doing that to humiliate him, aren't you?
Not necessarily.
Well, what other reason would you be calling him names when you don't know anything about what's happening?
Trying to figure out the situation.
So the way that you're trying to figure out what's happening is by calling a grown man names, yes?
Yes.
And you are yelling at some point, get away from us.
Yes.
Right? Okay. And that's after he comes up to your group, right?
Yes.
And when he comes up to your group, you're holding your phone kind of like this, are you not?
Yes, I am.
Recording it. Mm-hmm. Yes, okay. And he walks around your tubes and away from your group, does he not?
After engaging with us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to be happy. You wanted him to get away from you, and he is getting away from you, right?
Not much. I mean, we're just standing there, and like, he barely walked past us at all, and like, pretty much in our path. We can't flow past him. He's in our path. We can't.
Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. He walks past you guys, and you guys continue to move toward him. Is that right?
Not necessarily. Move towards him.
Yeah, so
What do you mean by that?
if you're Mr. Miu,
Okay.
and at one point he turns his back to you guys, is that true? You saw that on the tape?
Yes.
Okay. So this person that you want to get away from you is walked away from where you're standing and turned his back to you. True?
Walked out of our path, like into our path from where we went from. We passed him, and then he ran up on us, and then went in front of us.
You and your group move toward him, like I'm moving toward you, right?
No. Well, I mean, like, the way you're describing it isn't necessarily how I would feel like we were doing it, moving towards him. It's kind of just, we were there, yeah.
You were moving, your group was moving closer to where he was standing.
After he had moved completely up to us.
I understand.
Yes.
You want him to get away from you. He's moved downriver a little bit, and your group is moving in his direction. True?
Yeah, the way the river goes, yes, that is his direction.
Okay. And do you remember, Ryan Nelson testified, Mr.
Okay.
Do you remember someone yelling on you in your group? You got 10 seconds.
I don't recall that personally.
Okay. It's at 38. I'm going to play it, and I just want you to listen. You don't have to watch.
Okay.
Just listen, okay?
Yes.
So, Mr. Cockfield, if you could just listen.
What did you say?
Could you play it again? I'm not sure if I did. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Bro, them new iPhones got that good quality. What did you say?
No, I actually did not hear it.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. But you would agree at that point your group is moving in his direction, yes?
As the river would go, yes.
Right. You don't stop, but you're walking with your tubes in his direction. True?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. And you say shortly thereafter, you were asked this, you're yelling for the culture, for the culture, right?
Yes.
And you were asked what that meant, and your response was something like for the greater good.
Yeah, along those lines.
What is the greater good of you recording that?
I mean, this guy was, like I said, ran up to our group as we were floating past him, and we were causing a scene like, what is this guy doing? Get away from us. And then people come over to help us. So that's for the culture, for the greater good.
At that point, had the people come up?
Well, when I said for the culture, that's when the people came up. So if that's not at the point where, well, yeah.
Okay, and this is also...
That's why I said it, yeah.
We try to talk one at a time, okay?
Sorry about that.
It's okay. So, this is something that you want to record, right? This incident,
Yeah.
You want to record this, don't you?
I mean, not really sure what type of question that is.
Well, you don't stop, hold on, you don't stop recording and try to figure out the situation, you just keep recording what's going on, true?
Yeah, I mean, why would I stop it? At that point, it looked like it was like a weird situation. I just want to record it.
I'm sorry, you said it looked like a weird situation?
Yeah.
Okay. And at this point, you see Mr. Miu walk over to this blonde girl. You not?
Yes.
He's cleared a path for you all to walk through, hasn't he?
Yes.
So you have to be excited. You wanted to get away from him. You said he was standing in your path. He's moved out of your path. So your group can just go right by. True?
I mean, that group came over to help us, so why would we just leave them?
I want you to listen to my question.
Can I hear it?
He moves over so your group can go past.
Is that why he moved over?
I'm not asking you that.
Okay.
I'm asking you, you said you were yelling for him to get away. You wanted him to get away.
Yes.
You said he was standing in your path, right?
Yes.
He moves over out of your path.
Yes.
So your group, you have to be excited because your group now can go right by, right?
I mean, we could float by it, yes.
You could have floated by,
Yes.
but you didn't.
Yes.
You stayed,
Yes.
okay? And you stayed as this other group comes over,
Yes.
okay? And you, on tape, yelled to this blonde, he's looking for little girls.
Yes.
You don't have that information.
He said that. I remember him
Right.
saying that. So
He
that's
said
what I
that, hold on, you don't have that on tape.
Okay. True, it was not on my video.
And you never told that to the police. True?
True.
Okay. When she comes over and you choose to stay instead of actually moving on with your trip, you hear her yelling at him, right?
Yes.
Okay. And Ryan Nelson described her as being in his face. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. So, and her name is Madison Cohen. Okay, just so you know. So you would agree that Madison Cohen is in Mr. Miu's face, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you would agree she appears to be angry, true?
Yes. Or concerned at least.
I'm sorry?
Concerned at least, yes.
You don't tell her what's going on. You just say he said he's looking for little girls, right?
Yes.
Okay. So instead of trying to explain the situation, you're just yelling at her, saying this is what he said. Right?
Yelling to her what the situation is, which would be considered explaining, kind of.
So what's the situation?
He said he was looking for little girls, so I told them, like, that's the main concern of the situation. And then he ran after us, so, yeah.
And he ran after you, and instead of passing, you stay and tell her that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, initially, it's the six of you and Mr. Miu. True?
Yes.
You'd agree when this other group comes over, now there's more people involved.
Yes.
Okay. And ultimately, an additional 5 people come over to assist.
Yes.
Okay. So now we're at least up to 11 or 12 people against Mr. Miu. True?
Okay.
Is
Yeah,
that right?
true.
Okay. And during this entire interaction, up to the point we are right now where Ms. Cohen comes over, Mr. Miu's not saying anything aggressively to any of you, right?
No.
He's not physically doing anything to show his aggression toward you, right?
No.
Okay. And you're not afraid of him at that point, true?
Because of the people that came to help, I was not afraid of him at that
Right. So strength in numbers, right?
You could say that.
So the more people that are coming over, is it fair to say, as the number of people increase, your fear level decreases? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. And 11, 12, 13 against 1, you're feeling pretty comfortable at that point, right?
Yeah.
And you, when I say you guys, your group, the young Stillwater people, you begin to taunt him, don't you?
What do you mean by taunting?
Kind of get in a circle around him and all start pointing at him that he's a pedophile.
Object to the characterization of being in a circle around him. That's not the evidence.
That'll be up to the jury to decide. Objection overruled. It's cross-examination.
Right?
Can you say that again?
Sure. You guys form kind of a circle around him, are really close to him at that point, pointing like I'm pointing, gesturing, pointing at him, calling him a pedophile.
Yes.
Okay. And because of the way your camera is situated, you're pretty close to him as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay. And the purpose of taunting him and calling him a pedophile and pointing at him in that situation is what?
kind of just to let them know what he was doing.
You already let them know what he was doing.
Yeah, but I guess it was just still going on.
What was still going on?
What you just described.
No, I know what you're doing.
Okay.
The question is, why are you doing it?
I guess I don't know. It was 2 years ago.
Were you doing it to taunt him and humiliate him?
Not necessarily.
So why are you doing it?
Said I guess I don't necessarily know.
Any other explanation that you can think of as to why you would go around somebody pointing at him, taunting him, calling him names, other than to humiliate him? Now, you had mentioned that he had punched the blonde girl, Madison Cohen.
Yes.
Okay. You agree that's not on tape?
Yes.
Are you saying that you saw it, though?
I did.
Okay. When you say that you saw him punch her, she's in his face, yes?
Yes.
Okay. And what happens, if you know, what happens to her?
Like after he punched her?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Do you see how he punches her?
I kind of just see like a hand come over towards her face or at her face, and then I just see like the follow through. I guess I didn't really see anything after that.
Okay, can you tell me a little bit about that? And what I mean is, I don't want to mischaracterize what you're saying, okay? Do you know which hand he uses?
No, I can't really think about which hand he used.
Okay. And when I think of a punch, maybe you and I think of it the same way. I think of a fist and somebody kind of putting their weight into it and punching somebody in the face. Is that how you think of it?
I think there's, I guess, a bunch of ways to punch people.
Okay.
Personally, yeah.
How do you see it?
Like a punch?
How do you see this punch?
Just like kind of like a hook.
Okay, so you see him, and you used your right arm, right?
Yeah.
In that situation. So do you believe that he uses his right arm and throws kind of a hook across?
I'm not sure which arm, but it kind of felt like I saw a hook. Yes, a hook.
A hook. Okay. You don't see her go down, do you?
No.
Okay. And at that point, you see this group of people attack Mr. Miu, right?
Yes.
You see him get punched in the face and fall backwards into the river.
Yes.
You think that's funny, right?
After he had hit a woman, I think he was sort of getting what he deserved, yes.
So you thought it was funny?
Funny, yes. I guess I was laughing.
Yeah. And in fact, you had moved up. You got your camera. You're kind of right up in his face with this now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. And as he's being attacked, you're laughing throughout that portion of the video, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay. When he gets pushed back in the water, you're still laughing after somebody had already been stabbed, right?
Yeah, I didn't see it.
But you're still laughing, true?
True.
You agree that, from what you've seen, Mr. Miu doesn't stab anyone until he's attacked, true?
After he had punched the girl and then was attacked, yes, then he started stabbing people.
Okay. Before that, would you agree the temperature kind of and what's happening is going up and up and up?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. More people are showing up?
Yeah.
She's getting in his face?
Yeah.
Right? It's feeling more volatile to you?
Yeah.
And you're feeling more comfortable because of the numbers, right?
Yeah. I was gonna throw these away if I had a trash, but appreciate it. Thank you.
My last couple questions, Mr. Cockfield. There's a point on that video that you say, I'm paraphrasing, but you hit a woman, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. That's not at the point in the video when you believe he struck Madison Cohen, right?
What do you mean?
Well, there's two.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure I understood what you were saying there.
Fair enough. You know there's two women involved in this?
Yes.
Okay. When you say he struck a woman, is when he makes contact with Rhyley Mattison, not Madison Cohen. Do you know that?
Say that again?
Sure.
You said he made contact with me. Yeah.
There's two women, okay?
Okay.
If we're going to do this sequentially, you say he strikes Madison Cohen with a hook.
Yeah.
On that video, you don't say anything about him punching Madison Cohen.
No.
Right?
No, I don't have to. Like, as it happens, I didn't.
Right. You don't mention that on the video.
Not right away.
What you mention on the video is that at the time, sequentially of the video, he makes contact with Rhyley Mattison. Then you say he hit a woman.
I object, Your Honor. That's not the evidence.
Sustained.
I don't have any other questions, Judge. Mr. Cockfield, thank you for your time.
Mr. Smestain?
Jawan, you were asked about how big you are, that you're a football player and a wrestler. Do you ever touch Mr. Miu in any fashion?
Not once.
Did you ever cock a fist at him or anything like that?
Nope.
Did you ever tell him you were going to give him a beat down?
Nope.
You told Mr. Troffacy that you told the police that at one point he said he was looking for a snorkel. Did he actually say that at some point? Mr. Miu, I mean?
I'm not sure at this point.
When he ran up and grabbed onto your tube and made contact with your leg, did he have his snorkel in his mouth?
Yeah, that is. It's like trying to
Did
put
he
it
drop it out? So
Yeah. Yeah.
you were asked about whether you heard someone say you got 10 seconds. You indicated you didn't hear that. Did you ever say that?
I never said that. Yeah. No.
Did you ever hear anybody in your group say that?
I did not.
Overruled.
Did you ever hear anybody in your group say that?
No.
Mr. Troffacy had asked you why you didn't float by him and get away from him, and instead you continued recording. Did you have any idea that any of this was going to happen?
No, I did not.
In your wildest dreams, did you ever think would happen?
No.
As you sit here today, are you glad you recorded it?
Yes.
I'm going to show still frame number 2593. We're ready. Do you see that, John?
Yes, I do.
Is that a still frame from your video?
Yes.
How many people are confronting Mr. Miu in that still frame?
2
Males or females?
females.
Do you see 11 or 13 other people encircling him in that photo?
I do not.
Do you see anybody behind him?
No.
What do you see behind him?
Open. Looks open behind him.
I'm going to scroll through some of the stills from after this picture. We'll start. This is starting at 2593. stopping at 2643. That sequence of stills, is that when you panned over to your group of friends?
Yep.
Or your group of friends surrounding him?
Yeah.
And the photos
Or
you
what did you
just
say?
watched, was your group of friends surrounding Mr. Miu?
No. No, it wasn't.
Overruled.
What was your answer?
No.
Were you all standing in a line?
Yeah.
Sustained.
How was your group standing in relation to Mr. Miu in these stills that you just watched?
We were just standing kind of by our tubes. Line.
When you spoke to the police, you told them that he punched a woman?
Yes.
Did you
Sustained.
What did you, when you spoke to police, what did you tell him happened with the woman?
That he had hit her.
And that was right after the incident?
Yeah.
Nothing further.
Mr. Prophecy?
You were asked, you're this kind of big guy, did you touch Mr. Miu? And you said that you hadn't, right? He never touched you either, did he?
Besides the very beginning when I was sitting down on my tube.
Right. But otherwise, in terms of being physically aggressive, you weren't physically aggressive toward him, and you weren't harmed in this at all, were you?
No, I was not.
Okay. And you were asked on redirect about, do you recall telling the police that you were looking for a snorkel, and you said you didn't really recall that, right?
Yeah. That's
So
what
why did you say it?
No, I'm saying I didn't really recall telling the police that.
But you believe that to be true, that he told you he was looking for a snorkel, right?
I guess I don't recall that.
Well, if he didn't, my point is, if you don't believe that he told you that, why would you say it?
I don't know.
The picture that you were shown with the two females standing in front of Mr. Miu, you remember that?
Yes.
You'd agree there's approximately 11 people standing behind those two people, right?
At that, sure.
You'd agree that there's a group of people, two groups of people, your group of people, and the other group of people have come together, right?
Not necessarily all together. They were like kind of on their way, I guess.
Okay, but there's your group, and then I think you testified, plus at least 5 or 6 others that come over.
Yes.
Okay, so overall, at that point on that video, that still that you were shown, it's 12 on 1, right?
In that still frame, no, it wasn't.
There weren't 12 people standing there?
In that still frame, it was 2 standing next to him, if that's what you're asking me.
With 10 right behind him, right?
I don't know about right behind him.
Well, you saw the video, or you saw the still of you and your group moving forward once you say that Madison Cohen was punched, right?
Yeah.
You're all right there.
Like, they're right here, and then he's right here. Yeah.
Okay. And at that point, you were asked, well, it's open behind him, right?
Yeah.
There's a point in the video where you pan back. Do you see where Mr. Miu's group actually is?
No.
You don't know if he was by himself or with other people, right?
No.
You don't know if your group or the group that had come over had cut him off from getting back to his people, right?
I don't know.
Mr. Cockfield, I'm just going to ask you a couple questions about things you were asked on redirect. I'm going to show you picture or still 2623, okay?
Okay.
And that's a picture of your friend Alex, Vang, and a picture of Isaac, right?
Yes.
Okay. Are you looking at them when you're running this camera?
At this point, I'm just like panning around and like looking all around, I guess.
What I'm interested in is is your head, your face, your eyes looking at where your camera's looking?
No.
Okay, so
I guess I don't recall technically exactly where my eyes were looking while I was panning around right at this still frame.
okay, but you'd agree that at this point, Mr. Miu and Ms. Cohen, there would be I'm looking at it, they're to the right
Yeah.
of this, right? Okay. And your camera's, you're holding it like this, right?
Yeah.
Like this?
Yep.
And do you know at that point, in order to see what's going on over there, you're holding the camera straight and you're turning your head like I'm turning my head to the right? Yes?
Can you say that again? Sorry.
Well, what you testified to was that your eyes aren't necessarily in the same place
Yes.
as the camera.
Yes.
Okay? What I'm asking you is, you're holding the camera showing Mr. Vang and Mr. Schuman.
Yes.
Okay. You're not looking at the you're not looking where your camera's being pointed, is that what you're saying?
Not at every second. No.
I understand, there are points that you're
Yeah.
moving around.
Yes.
Right. But your head, in order to see what's going on with Mr. Miu, your head is turned in this direction in order to see this confrontation that's going on.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
While you're keeping your camera here.
Yeah, like I guess I can move my camera, move my head, everything can move.
I don't have any other questions. Thank you, Mr. Cockfield.
Thank you. You may step down. Is he released? No. All right. Please see the coordinator. She'll give you further instructions.
Judge, in case I didn't already ask, I'm moving for admission to 38. I think we might have already done that.
38's been received.
Thank you.
All right. We are going to take a short recess. We'll come back at 10 o'clock. Please take the jury out.
All rise for the jury.
What's that? Oh, yeah. Well, we're going to switch over now, too, right?
You got Jawan.
What's your next? Yeah. On our list. It's right here.
Oh, yeah.
We are in recess until 10.
I think I'm just going to do the stills myself because I got so many for that.
The testimony you're about to give this time shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so be done.
Please have a seat in the witness chair.
Judge, can I move?
Thank you.
Mr. Smestad.
Can you state your name for the record, please? Spell your last name.
My name is Alex Vang, V-A-N-G.
How old are you, Alex?
I'm 19 years old.
Do you go to school? Do you work?
I'm a student at St. John's University,
What are you studying?
global business leadership.
What year are you at St. John's?
I'm a first year.
Were you familiar with a person named Isaac Schuman?
I was.
How did you know him?
He's my best friend.
How many years were you best friends with Isaac?
7th grade, I first met him.
Were you with Isaac Schuman on July 30th of 2022?
Yes, I was.
Were you part of a group of your friends that tubed down the Apple River near Somerset, Wisconsin?
Yes.
Were you with Isaac when he was stabbed and killed that day?
Yes, I was.
It's my understanding from other testimony that you were the driver and drove everybody to the river.
Correct.
Did you rent tubes at River's Edge?
Yep.
Do you remember if you got a receipt for the tubes?
I don't think so, no.
Do you remember what time you got on the river?
Estimate maybe around 1:30.
Was your group together in the tubes?
Yes.
Were your tubes connected together?
Yes.
What's the plan to float down to Village Park in Somerset?
If that's at the end, yes.
Do you have plans for a return trip back to River's Edge?
Say again?
Did you have plans on how to get back from Village Park up to River's Edge?
Yeah, we were probably gonna find a ride.
While you were tubing in the river, you were drinking alcohol?
Yes, I was.
What kind of alcohol did you have?
Just some beers, some Michelob Goldens, maybe some the like ultras or something, whatever they're called.
Did you have any hard liquor?
I did not.
Do you know if anybody in your group was drinking hard liquor?
I don't recall.
Did you use any other drugs that day?
Yeah, I smoked some weed.
All right. By weed, you mean marijuana?
Yes, please. Or yes.
All right. As you were floating down the river, did you eventually have contact with the defendant, Mr. Miu?
Yes, I did.
All right. Do you know whereabouts you were in the river when you first saw him?
I don't recall. I just know we were a little bit a ways from a bridge.
Had you been on the river before?
I have.
How many times?
Just the year previous.
When you first saw Mr. Miu, what was he doing?
He was just looking in the water with some snorkeling gear.
All right. Did you ask him what he was doing?
I did.
What did he say?
He said, you're snorkeling in some pretty short water, like, what are you looking for?
And how did he answer?
He said something along the lines of, he responded with looking for little girls or something like that.
All right. Are you aware that, we'll strike that, did you record any part of your interaction with?
I did not.
Now let me finish my question.
I'm sorry.
Is this your first time testifying?
It is.
Are you a little nervous?
Yes.
All right. Did you yourself record any part of the incident on the river?
No, I did not.
All right. Are you aware that somebody else in your group was?
Yes.
Who was that?
Jawan Cockfield.
Have you had a chance to review that video?
Yep, I watched it once.
And did you see yourself in the video?
Yes.
At the time that you asked Mr. Miu what he was doing and he responded like that, is any of that on the video?
No.
At some point, did Mr. Miu run up on your group?
He did.
Did that cause you concern?
Yes, I was very scared.
Did you bail out of your tube?
I did.
What did he do when he ran up?
From what I remember, he ran up to us and grabbed our tubes and stopped us from carrying on.
All right, were you floating at that time?
Yes, we were.
He stopped you from floating?
Yes.
I'm going to show you a still frame from the video. 0156. Or do you put it on the screen? Alex, I'm showing you frame 0156 of Jawan's video. Are you in that picture?
That's me, yes.
Does this describe when this picture was taken? I mean, what's going on when you're in the water there?
This must have been when he was running towards our tubes and was just about grabbing our tubes, and I was off the tubes at that moment.
Whose leg is in the foreground of the picture?
I'd assume at the very bottom that's Jawan's.
All right. At that point, had you separated yourself away from your raft of tubes?
Yes, I did.
Why?
I was concerned for my safety. I didn't know what his intentions were running up on our tubes.
All right. Is it fair to say that prior to him running up, Jawan called him some names?
Yes.
All right. Were you involved in calling him any names before he ran up on the group?
Yes.
Do you know whether he was alone or with the group?
From what I saw, he was just by himself.
Did he have a tube?
No, not that I saw.
When he ran up on you, were you able to see whether he had anything in his pocket?
No.
At any point during this interaction with him, did you know he had a knife?
No.
Did you know Mr. Miu at all?
I did not.
Do you remember how long you'd been on the river by the time you had this run-in with him?
I'd estimate maybe an hour, hour and a half.
When he ran up and grabbed onto your raft of tubes, did he say anything that you heard?
I don't recall.
Did he, I know from the still we just looked at that you had gotten off your tube. Did he make any physical contact with you at all?
Not me, no.
At any time during this incident, did he ever have any physical contact with you?
No.
As he's grabbing onto your tubes, did you say anything to him?
I don't recall.
Did you threaten him in any fashion?
No.
Did you tell him he had 10 seconds to leave or anything like that?
No.
You did call him some names?
Yes, I did.
What kind of names did you call him?
Pedophile, predator.
Maybe a dumb question, but you don't seem to be proud of that?
No, sir.
Do you agree that you boys probably weren't very kind to him?
Yeah, I agree.
In the context of what happened, though, did you know what his intentions were?
No.
Eventually, did you and your friends start yelling at him to get away?
Yes, we did.
Were you using raised voices?
Yes.
You've seen that all on the video?
Yes.
At some point, did other folks come over to see what was going on?
They did.
Do you recall who was or can you describe the first person that showed up to?
The first person I saw come up was maybe a small white lady.
All right. What did she do?
She pretty much just confronted him face to face, saying to leave these kids alone. You could leave right now. Just leave these guys alone.
Did she swear at him?
I don't recall.
All right. Did she have dark hair or blonde hair?
I don't recall, but my best estimate would be blonde.
Right. At some point, did you see two women from another group confronting him?
Yeah.
And what was the other woman doing, the second woman?
From what I remember, she was just next to the other lady. I don't recall what she was really doing.
Right. Did you hear her tell him to leave at all?
A lot of people were telling him to leave.
Right. Including you?
Yes.
At some point, as you reviewed the video, do you realize you guys are laughing at him?
Yes.
Why was that, if you know?
He felt like it was kind of those situations where, like, we like caught someone doing something wrong, and it's something like that.
Did you think that he was getting in trouble from this other group?
Yes, I was thinking that he was finally about to leave and stop all the commotion that's going on.
Were you feeling relieved?
Objection.
Sustained.
Say again.
I'm sorry. There's an objection. I have to rule. Sustained means don't answer.
Okay, gotcha.
So
Next question.
As Mr. Miu is talking to the two women that are Were they standing in front of him, behind him? Where were they?
The two women?
Yes.
They were in front of him.
Did you ever hear him say, get out of my way, let me go?
I did not.
Did you ever hear him call out for help?
No.
Did you and your group of friends surround him? By that, I mean encircle him?
I'm going to object. I'm going to ask him to let him answer the question.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that all. I didn't
I'm
hear.
going to let him answer the question. He was trying to answer the question and he was interrupted with
Well, it's his witness. I'll let him interrupt his own witness.
Did you encircle Mr. Miu before any of the fight started?
I wouldn't say circle. I would say we were standing near to him. We weren't, yeah.
All right. If we can go to slide 2593. If we can turn it on. All right, Alex, I'm showing you a still frame 2593 from Jawan's video. Is this what you saw when you described the two women standing in front of him?
Correct.
Were any of your friends behind him?
No.
In relation to this picture, where was your group of friends located?
I would say maybe to the back and to the left.
All right. Were you within arm's reach of him?
From this picture, no, I wasn't.
Was anybody else in your group at this point within arm's reach of him?
No.
All right, so as he's being scolded by these women, what did you see Mr. Miu do?
Say again?
What did he do? Once this frame is up, once these women are standing in front of him, did you see him do something?
Yeah. From what I remember, these two women were confronting him, and he decided to punch one of the ladies, which I remember being the blonde one, right in the face.
You saw him do that?
Yeah.
Did you know that lady at all?
No, I did not.
Did you ever met her before in your life?
No, I did not.
Did you even talk to her on the river?
No.
She was a complete stranger to you?
Complete stranger? Yes.
What part of her body did he punch?
The face?
Do you remember, and I know this was 2 years ago, but do you remember which hand he used?
The right hand?
At that point, do you know whether he used a closed fist or an open hand?
I don't recall, but I know he struck her in the face.
Right. And how did she react bodily?
Well, I mean, a lot happened when that first happened, but from what I remember, she reacted how anyone else would react to getting hit in the face, is maybe holding the part where she got hit.
Did she go down?
I don't recall.
After Mr. Miu punched the blonde lady in the face, did her friends react?
They did.
What happened?
Well, after he punched her in the face, their friends hopped on him, trying to pretty much retaliate from him hitting her in the face.
Was Mr. Miu likewise struck in the face? If you saw?
I don't recall. I knew he was getting hit.
Did you see him go down?
Yes, I did.
At any time while this fight had started, did you see him holding the knife in his hand at all?
No.
Did he eventually get back up?
Yes, he did.
At that point, did you notice that there were some folks that were injured?
I'd say within 5 seconds, I realized that there were people stabbed.
All right. Do you remember who the first person was that you saw stabbed?
I saw the blonde white lady get stabbed first.
Not the same one who got punched or the same one that got punched?
I don't recall. I just do remember seeing a blonde white lady stabbed first. I can't tell you if it was the same one, but.
Okay. We're gonna look at a still frame here. Still 2944. As you had watched the video and saw yourself laughing, At some point, was there a point in the video where your expression changes?
Yes.
All right, we're going to show a sequence of slides. Start at 29:15. All right, Alex, this is slide 29:15 from the video. Do you see yourself in that video?
Yes, I do.
Is that you in the back center?
Yep.
You're looking off to your right?
Yes.
I'm going to object. It's leading. It's not a question, actually.
Okay. Which direction are you looking?
From where I'm, from my point of view to my right, or a bit, pretty much like around like this direction.
And we're going to go through it here. Right there. Go back. All right, we're looking at slide 2944. Do you see yourself in that still as well?
Yep.
What's the expression on your face?
Completely shocked.
What had you seen at that point that made you have that expression on your face?
I'd seen a stab wound that was actively bleeding, and it was nothing.
Man or a woman?
Woman.
Is that the woman that you testified earlier that you had seen get stabbed?
I would need to see again, but I don't completely recall.
Were you injured in any way?
No.
Did Mr. Miu do anything to you?
No, he didn't do anything to me.
All right. Did you ever lay a hand on him?
No.
At some point, did you realize that Isaac Schuman had been stabbed?
Yes.
Did you actually see that happen?
I didn't see the action of him getting stabbed, no.
When did you first realize that he had been stabbed?
I noticed he got stabbed when he fell into the water.
Were you near him when that happened?
I was close. I was a couple feet away from him.
What did you see on Isaac as he fell into the water? And I know this is hard.
Yeah, so when he fell into the water, I knew he was holding the left side of his chest, and so when I picked him up, I noticed he had a huge gash in his chest that was bleeding out.
We're going to play a portion of the video starting at the 2:15 mark. While that's getting set up, did you, once you realized that Isaac was injured, did you go to him?
Yeah, I immediately grabbed him, saw that he was injured and wasn't able to completely move, and that's when I decided I needed to hold pressure onto the wound and drag him to the shore.
Did you do that?
I did. I apologize.
At some point, did some folks stop to help you care for Isaac?
Yeah, some adults came by and helped us out.
Did you, were you present while they were trying to render aid to Isaac?
Yes, I was.
Eventually, did EMTs and police arrive on the river?
They did.
Did you see them take Isaac off the river?
Yes.
Did you follow?
Yeah, my sister and my brother-in-law picked me up and drove me to the hospital where he was getting sent to.
While you were at the hospital where they brought Isaac, did you speak to police?
Yes, I did.
Do you remember if you spoke to police on the side of the river as well?
Yep.
Did you tell them what happened?
Yes.
All right, if we can go to the screen. We're playing the video starting at 2:15. Alex, I'm going to ask you to review this, and I know it's going to be difficult.
What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? He's dying! He's dying!
The beginning of the video, was that you running towards where Isaac was in the water?
Yes.
Did anyone else run towards Isaac besides for you?
Yeah.
Who else?
Owen Peliquin.
Was he in your group that day?
Yes, he was.
I know it's been almost 2 years, but do you remember the face of the person who did this?
Yes, I do.
Do you see him in the courtroom here?
Yeah.
Can you point him out, say what he's wearing?
He's right there.
What's he wearing?
Suit jacket, dress pants, brown shoes.
Far left of the table from your perspective?
Correct.
While you were at the hospital, is that when you and your friends were informed that Isaac had passed away?
Yes.
I don't have any other questions.
Mr. Jofferson.
Mr. Vang, you're a student at St. John's?
Correct.
Okay. You go to school with Jawan Cockfield?
I do.
Okay. Are you guys roommates or anything?
No.
Just friends?
Yes.
Okay. And you acknowledge that you provided an interview to police in this case, is that right?
Yes.
And that interview was given the day of the incident, is that true?
It was.
Okay. Is your memory better on the day of the incident, or is it better 21 months later?
I would say it's just about the same.
Okay. You would agree that in your interview that you gave on the day of the incident to police, you never mentioned to them that you had a conversation or heard Mr. Miu talking about little girls in any way, right?
Yes.
You never tell them that, do you?
I didn't. I was still in shock. There was a lot of little details that I could have explained, but there was still a lot going through my head, and I couldn't possibly process every single little detail that happened, but I tried to give them the best I could at that moment.
Well, good news is we've had 21 months since then. In those 21 months, did you ever follow up with them and say, you know, I left something out? He told me he was looking for little girls. Did you ever do that?
I made sure to tell my team that a couple weeks before this happened, when we were talking.
You told the prosecution a couple weeks before this happened, before this testimony?
Yes.
That had happened?
Yes.
Okay. You never tell the police that, right?
No, not at those moments, no.
Okay. And you never follow up with them and tell them, right?
No, I didn't.
What you tell them is, you see a guy snorkeling by himself, and we're just saying, oh, he's snorkeling by himself, right? That's what you tell police.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yeah, he looked like he was about to do some snorkeling activities, yeah.
Okay. And then you just say he was chirping back at us and we were chirping at him, right?
Yeah, I made a little joke like the water's super short, you know, like what you looking for, maybe just a little chirping like, yeah, the water's short, you know, maybe it's not, maybe like, I don't know anything about snorkeling. It was a little joke.
Okay. And Does he respond to you?
Yes, he did.
What does he say?
I asked him what he was doing, looking in the water. He said he was along the lines of, I'm looking for little girls or something.
Okay. Now, of course, that's not on tape, right?
It's not.
And Jawan Cockfield has testified, and he agreed that your group was antagonizing Mr. Miu. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Would you agree that, at least on tape, the loudest antagonizer is Jawan Cockfield? Would you agree with that?
He was the closest to the phone.
I mean, you can hear his voice the most.
Yes.
Right? And do you recall Jawan Cockfield on video saying grown men cannot have sex with little girls and calling him a raper? Remember that?
I don't recall.
If you can just listen to this, Mr. Vang, you can watch it too, obviously, but listen. Now, before we start, can you bring it up? Is that you?
That is.
Okay.
Sorry, I pulled up the wrong video. Can you turn it down? I apologize. Can I just get exhibit 2? Sorry. Thank you.
Can I ask you, Mr. Vang, you see any little girls around there?
I did not.
Is that you, Mr. Vang?
Yes.
Okay.
Grown man trying to have sex with little girls. What the hell? What the fuck? Out! He's a raper. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
You remember that now?
Yes.
Okay. And at that point, Mr. Miu's not bothering you guys at all, is he?
No, he's walking away.
Okay. Walking away, and you guys, at least Mr. Cockfield, starts calling him a raper. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And you tell police that you say, we almost started calling him a predator and a pedophile, right? You didn't almost, you did, right?
Yes.
So you have no idea why he's there, right?
No.
And you guys take to just humiliating this man. True?
We wouldn't say what we said if he didn't say what he said.
I know, but as we've already established, you don't tell that to the police and it's not on the video, right?
Say again?
we've already established you don't tell the police that he said that, and it's not on any video that was recorded.
Objection, Your Honor, that's been asked and answered.
It has been. We're plowing the same ground.
Okay. So, do you, when he walks up to your tubes, you said that you were, if I have it right, you were very scared. Is that right?
Yes, I would say he ran up to us, and I was scared.
Okay. Did your fear dissipate as time went on? Or did you remain very scared throughout the incident?
I was still internally as scared as I was.
He walks around your tubes and starts walking away from your group, is that right?
Maybe a few steps.
He turns his back to your group? He turns his back to your group, yes?
Yes.
Okay. And at that point, you just want to get by? You just want to be able to get past him? Is that fair?
Yeah, we were floating down still. From where he was, it would just be like this. Like, we were just moving along the river, going with the flow, until he ran up to our tubes and stopped us.
I'm going to need you to listen to my question. My question was, what you're hoping for is that you're able to get past him. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And there comes a point where this blonde woman that you've mentioned, she's testified, Madison Cohen, where she starts to come over, right?
Yes.
And he moves from where you guys are over to her, doesn't he?
Yes.
Okay. He gives you that path that you're looking for to float on by, right?
Yes.
You don't take it though, do you?
He already stopped us.
That's not my question. My question is, you've admitted he gives you a path and you don't take it, right?
Yes.
You stay, right?
Yes.
Your group stays, don't they?
Yes.
Okay. And you guys who have the ability to go past him, do you hear this woman yelling at him?
I do.
Okay. And she never tells you guys to go past, does she?
I don't recall.
Okay. Do you hear Jawan Cockfield tell her he's looking for little girls?
I don't recall.
Okay. Ryan Nelson describes her as getting, and Jawan did too, by the way, as getting, the blonde girl, as getting in Mr. Miu's face. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, she was face to face with him.
Okay. Ryan Nelson said that she was in his personal space. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you bring up the 10 seconds? I've asked some of your group to listen. You can watch, but you need to listen. To hear if you can hear on this video someone say the words, "You've got 10 seconds." Okay? So I just want you to listen to it and tell me if you hear it. You can
Gotcha.
play it twice if you can. We're ready. So I would just ask that you listen, okay, Mr. Vang?
What did he say?
You can play it.
What did he say?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so somebody in your group says you got 10 seconds, right? Do you say that?
No.
I'm going to object. You didn't let him answer the first question about if someone in his group said that.
Sustained. Can you ask?
Sure.
Go back and just clean it up.
Do you say that?
I do not.
Okay. You hear someone's, on this recording, you hear someone say it, right?
On the video, yes.
Okay. You'd agree that you don't believe it's Jawan Cockfield because he's holding the camera, right?
No.
So, fair to say it's someone else in your group, yes?
I don't recall if it was our group.
Okay. The other group wasn't over there at that point, right?
I didn't know where that point of the video was.
Okay. As the blonde girl comes over, she comes over with a couple other people, is that right?
Yes?
Okay, so, and at that point you believe that Mr. Miu's alone? True.
Yes.
So, when she comes over, she brings a couple people with her, so it's, and you have 6, so at that point it's at least 8, 9 people versus 1, right? Is that fair?
Yep.
Ryan Nelson said that changed his fear level, that the more people that showed up, the less his fear decreased, and so did Jawan Cockfield. Is that how you felt?
Yeah, I would say it slightly got better, but I mean, there was still commotion in front of us. I mean, it helped that a different group came to help us out, but I mean, the threat level was still there from what I saw.
You don't see Mr. Miu with a knife, right?
I don't.
Okay, so the threat level, you have 9 people around you, he's by himself, and you felt the threat level was high. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to show you number 2440, okay? Is that you?
It is.
Is that you? Are you in this picture? Do you appear to be concerned or afraid in that picture?
No.
Okay. And is it fair to say that you're not afraid or concerned because the numbers of people have increased in part?
Say again?
You initially said that you were very afraid and very scared, right? You just said on that photo that you don't appear to be very afraid or very scared. True?
Yeah.
My question to you is that because the number of people that have shown up has increased?
Yeah.
Yes. So the more people that show up to assist, the less afraid you're becoming.
Yes.
You are, right? Okay. And you would agree that Mr. Miu's not doing anything in terms of being, at that point, being physically aggressive to anyone, right?
Yeah.
He's not saying anything aggressive either, is he?
I don't recall.
If he would have said anything aggressive, do you think you would have, I know you didn't remember everything, but do you think you might have put it in your statement?
Possibly. I don't know. I don't completely remember what's going on through my head when I was giving my statements.
Did you ever ask to maybe do it another time when you felt a little better?
Not.
Okay. Now, you agree there comes a point when you and your group come around Mr. Miu and are pointing at him and calling him a predator, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you're doing that to humiliate him, aren't you?
I'd phrase it as calling him out.
Calling him out. That's why you were doing it.
Yes.
Okay. And in terms of the blonde girl that you say you see get hit, I want to make sure I got it right. You said right hand?
Yes.
Okay. And today, I don't want to misquote your testimony, punch or slap?
I'd say punch, but I don't know all the way. I'd say I'd estimate a punch.
Okay. So to say that if he hits her with his right hand, he hits her on the left side of her face, right?
Yep.
So he hits her on this side of her face.
This side, yes.
Yeah, okay. There's been various statements on how it happened. Jawan Cockfield referred to it as a hook. Is that how you would refer to it?
Yeah, it was a pretty good punch.
Okay. So pretty good punch with his right hand, punching her in the left side of her face.
Yes.
Okay. Are you aware that he was holding a knife in his right hand?
After the video, I did, yes.
Okay. So your testimony under oath today is that he would have had to punch her, right? He couldn't slap her. How would you slap her holding a knife, right? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So with a knife in his hand, with a closed fist, he makes a hook motion and punches her in the face. That's your testimony?
Yes.
Okay. You told police that he slapped her in the face, didn't you?
Yeah.
So under oath today, you're changing your testimony?
For after yeah.
Because your memory's better today than it was 21 months ago.
Say it's about the same or a little better.
Okay. So if he's holding the knife, comes across her like this and punches her in the face. That's your testimony. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. And you agree you told police he slapped her to the ground, right?
Yes.
You're saying that's a lie?
Well, I've seen the video. But I mean, according to my statement, that's just from what I remembered when the moment happened.
So are you tailoring your testimony today based on what you've seen on that video?
No. But from what I remember is that she didn't fall, but she did get hit in the face.
Right, but it's much different than what you told the police that day, right?
Once again, I was in a lot of shock, and there was a lot of details that I completely didn't process at the moment. I apologize, but that was the best I could have gave at that moment at that time.
And I think you told police when you see Mr. Miu get hit, you believe that he's, quote, almost knocked out, right?
Yeah, he fell to the floor.
Okay. But in your opinion on that day, he's hit to the point that you believe that he might be knocked unconscious.
Yes, when I see someone fall to the floor after they get, I can assume that they might have fell unconscious or they might have gone dazed.
Okay. And certainly falling into the water unconscious, that would be dangerous, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Okay. And he's a big guy, isn't he? Like on that day, he was a big guy.
Yes.
All right. So when you see a man the size of Mr. Miu get punched in the face, knocked in the water, you believe potentially unconscious, he's getting his butt kicked, isn't he?
Yeah, I would say he got hit, yep.
I mean, he's getting his butt kicked, right? There's multiple people hitting him.
Objection to the term multiple.
Multiple.
Overruled. You can agree or disagree with the characterization. It's cross-examination.
Can you give me the characterization again?
He's getting hit multiple times. You'd agree with that?
Yes.
He's getting hit, knocked on the ground, and then hit again across the face. You'd agree with that?
Yes.
Right? You see in the video him getting pushed from behind, right?
I don't recall if that was on the video or not.
Okay. And my question to you was, you believe he's getting his butt kicked, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you were asked if he did anything to you, and you said no, right?
No.
You didn't do anything to him either, did you?
Correct.
that when he gets knocked into the ground, when he gets knocked on the ground in the water, you'd agree at that point he's surrounded by people. You'd agree with that. People have moved around him at that point, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't have a place to go at that point. True?
True.
Nothing else.
Mr. Smithstead?
Alex, Mr. Troffsy had asked you about Mr. Miu getting his butt kicked. When he stood up out of the river, did you see him bleeding anywhere?
No.
Did you see any marks anywhere?
No.
His face looked swollen at all?
Not that I recall.
In contrast, did you see other folks bleeding?
Yes.
You remember how many? At that point when he...
From what I remember, I saw the lady who got stabbed, the man with the stomach open, and my friend Isaac. But there was blood all over the water.
Did any of those people who were stabbed at any point have a knife in their hands?
No.
Nothing further.
Mr. Troffsy? Thank you, Mr. Vang. You may step down. Is he excused? No. All right, please see the witness coordinator on your way out. She'll give you additional instructions. I understand lunch has arrived, so I think this will be a great place to break. Before you go downstairs, members of the jury, do not begin your deliberations over the lunch hour. You may talk with one another, but you cannot talk about the case. Do not interact with the attorneys, with the media, parties, members of the public. Do not conduct any independent research. And do not attempt to conduct any investigation. We will reconvene in 1 hour, so that'll be 12:45. Please take the jury out.
All rise for the jury.
All right, guys. So that concludes the AM session. So it looks like, according to law and crime, the case is scheduled to resume at 1:45 Eastern time. So, let's see. Justin says, "Did anyone else have a knife? Play love that." Yep. Patricia Watts says, "Every one of those boys need to be charged, not him. It's obvious that it was self-defense." I agree. But that's the thing. See, if you understand how the state needs to beat the self-defense argument, he's got to be elevating the violence. In other words, the defendant. So that's why these witnesses are saying what they're saying, because if they elevate it to violence, in other words, if they went from, they push him, so he kind of pushes back. It's a pushing match. And then they come over and punch him. They are the aggressors. So what they've done here is work with these kids to get them to essentially make it look as if he was the aggressor the entire time. And it's egregious because, you watch this video and it's like, that is not what's on the video. Okay. And the fact that the prosecutors have turned on this man, why, I don't know. I don't know why they're out to get him specifically, other than the police arrested him at the scene. A 17-year-old died. He apparently has a wealthy, I'm not sure. I haven't looked completely into his background, but he's comes from somewhat of an affluent family. And, like I said, they made that decision within minutes of this happening. He was in handcuffs and in the back of a police car. And that's what the state of Wisconsin got stuck with, and they weren't going to reverse course. So, listen, I think this will be, or should be, a not guilty verdict by this jury. That's going to shock some people, because a lot of people, if you take the news clips, this kid was, or this man was down on a river with a knife. What's he doing down on the river with a knife? Well, it's not quite that simple. He was down on the river with a knife in an outdoor situation with a knife that was absolutely within reason for somebody being in an outdoor situation. And he gets attacked. He never said anything about looking for little girls. What the hell would somebody say that for? That was those kids gaslighting him. yelling at him, wanting to get a reaction out of him, probably, I mean, really wanting to bait him into probably a fist fight. That's what they wanted to do. They were drunk. They were hopped up on a large amount of alcohol, high on weed. They were just going. And that's what you can tell in that. And then all of a sudden, people get stabbed and they start freaking out. Absolutely. Yes, Jeff. I think the closing arguments are going to be really good in this case. It's going to be interesting to see the state as they stand up there. I mean, I could not imagine being a prosecutor in this case. This is one of those, it's just cringy every time you hear the state stand up and talk, and it really makes prosecutors look bad when you have a case like this, because this is them twisting the evidence. This is as bad as the Crumleys, where they twisted the evidence. This is like the prosecutors down in the Treehouse case down in Florida, the Tyrone Tucker case. And those prosecutors straight up lied, have twisted evidence. They straight up lied in their closing arguments. They committed prosecutorial misconduct. Vinnie Politan, who's a career prosecutor, even had to question what the Treehouse prosecutors were doing. I hope he watches this and starts looking at this. When you look at that tape, I don't understand how anybody who watches that tape sees this man as an aggressor. I mean, at worst, maybe you say, okay, he stabbed some people. This is not first degree by any means. There's no premeditation. This guy wasn't coming over looking to kill a bunch of people on the river. He was attacked. Maybe you consider like an involuntary manslaughter or something along those lines where I guess maybe you'd have to fix this in with voluntary manslaughter, because involuntary would be more accidental. But I mean, there's no way you're getting up into first degree. There's no way this guy should be sitting in there for life. The news will paint it as a man-child predator. That's how they've already done it. If you go watch the news reports about this case, that's exactly what they've done. They were in the hospital interviewing one of the girls that had pushed him. The one, Matt, I think it was Madison that they were interviewing. Hey, you know what? I agree with you. Not guilty. Well, I understand LDOT, but here's the issue. He didn't have a knife for a nefarious purpose. But if you look at what was transpiring in that video, he's on the rocks. He's getting beat. He's a 52-year-old man who had just had a year before heart surgery. He's not in any good physical condition. He's not a fighter. So I don't think it's at all, in that type of a scenario, as he's getting knocked to the ground, he's getting punched, this angry mob's coming at him. He's not stabbing to kill. He's stabbing to get him off of him because he had no other way. He wasn't going to physically beat these young football players up. He wasn't going to be able to go man to man with them. 12 of them. I mean, even the girls are pushing him. He's in the water, like I said. And he realizes, oh my God. So he did what he had to do. Otherwise, you know what? We're in the trial for those kids. And we're hearing a totally different news story. We're hearing about drunk teenagers who beat a man to death on the riverbed. And that's exactly what would happen. He couldn't have walked away. How could you, if you watch the video, how does he walk away? They were in his way. They were around the direction he needed to go. He started to try to walk away and they came up on him. If you watch that video, you will see where he starts to walk away and they move towards him. Watch how that camera moves in his direction. He's trying to walk away. Then he's trying to walk around them and they come and cut him off and he points down there that he's trying to get down there to his people. He's trying to wave to them. So any argument that he should have walked away is ridiculous. He couldn't have walked away. They were swarming him. They were yelling and screaming and telling everybody that this guy had touched a little girl, that they had it on video camera. That's why the young blonde girl walks over to him, who wasn't involved in the original group, and she starts screaming at him solely on the basis of what everybody was saying around him. And that's who, and she starts pushing him and telling him, get away. He's got nowhere to go. He's got a group of people around him. And that's the problem, is when you hear this, you go, here, knife. And that's where I thought, oh man, this is going to be difficult. But once you watch the video, and I've watched it now multiple of times because it keeps getting played in court. And then I played it a few times last night when we were live. you know, and it looks like, yes, and it looks like he tries to in the video, and I think he was trying to pick up a snorkel, and they could have walked away too. This is in these kids. Well, and that's the other thing too, Eldot. You got like, this was not an area where these kids were, like, this was not like their camp area. This was not their spot. He had dropped his snorkel because he'd taken his snorkel off, and this is, I assume we're here as testimony. And he saw a young girl holding her phone up, so he thought that she was motioning that she found a phone, because he had said, just according to his attorneys, he had said, "Hey, I'm trying to find a phone." And so he comes running over to them thinking that there's a phone, and they start, and then that's when the video picks up that Jawan starts videotaping, and he stumbles and falls in the water, and I think reaches out for the raft to try to brace himself, because he was running over thinking that they had found a phone. He's like, "Oh, you found it," and he falls. Well, then when he falls, he loses his snorkel. It falls out of his mouth, and the snorkel goes. So then they're telling him to leave, and he's saying, "Oh, I'm trying to find my snorkel." You see him in the video where he's looking for the snorkel, and he's trying to find it. And then they tell him, and then he explains in the video, he says, they said, "What are you doing?" "I'm trying to find my phone." "No, your phone doesn't matter anymore, man. Get the hell out of here." And then one of them says, "You got 10 seconds, or it sounds to me when you listen to it closely with, headphones on, it sounds like he says, "You got 10 seconds or we're going to kick your ass." And that's when he starts to walk away. Then he starts to try to walk back and around because he needs to get down to his group. And that's when they continue to converge on him, and they're yelling and screaming. This guy's looking at little girls, and people are coming over. So now other people on the river are coming over. And there was another person, an older man, who had his son. So his son ends up being the one that punches him. This is how crazy that group craziness can get. He says to his son, "Go over there," and it looks like this man's about to get beat up. So his son runs over there, and then when this group tells this kid, no, he was looking at little girls, he was touching little girls, and boom, this kid is the one that ends up punching him. Well, Eldot, killing is not killing when you have, if someone's trying to kill you, and you have a group of angry people kicking and hitting you for no reason, and these people have been incited by lies because somebody wants to get a viral video to have people beat this man up, then you can't just say it's killing is killing. Okay, it's not killing is killing. That's not. That is not. But that is not. Well, the law here, Jeff, if you go back and watch the opening statement, the law here is, if there is any theory, okay, if there is any theory to which that would be lead them to say he's not guilty, and in this case, the theory would be, and it's all about what he perceived. It's not about what everyone else perceives. It's about what his perception would have been, and you have to understand it from his perspective. So him being having the heart attack, being someone who suffered from heart issues, he's not in shape. His perception of seeing 17 young people coming, punching him, hitting him. Well, Eldot, I understand he killed a young man, but listen, a young man got killed because a group, they got high, they got drunk, and they started attacking somebody. And they attacked the person, and the person had to fight back and protect themselves. What would you be saying the same thing if he would have not done something to protect himself, and he would have been beaten to death on those rocks? Then what are you saying? It's very tragic that young man died. It's very sad. It's nonsense. And at Eldot, yes, the one who does, I believe, has over 2.0 intoxication and high on weed. And yes, death is sad, no matter the fact is he was justified in defending himself. And that's exactly right. Just the mere death of someone, it's about the circumstances surrounding that death that are going to be in play. Yes, in self-defense, it's not like he ran up to the kid to stab him and the kid attacked him. That's correct. If I were in his situation and didn't have a knife, what would I do? What you would do is you would have got beat to death, possibly. You would have got severely injured. Those kids were going to hurt him. They were slapping him, hitting him, kicking him on the rocks. So like I said, if he doesn't have that knife It's a totally different situation. And then those kids are going to be trying to tell the police he was a child predator and he touched a girl. And then they're going to have all their lawyers in there saying, yeah, that's what he did. And you know what the state would be doing? They would be tearing that apart. And they would be saying, that's a lie. That's not true. Was there any little girls? They'd be asking all the same questions the defense attorneys just were when these kids tried to say that. And these kids would end up convicted of, probably it wouldn't, and they probably wouldn't even be convicted of first degree. It would probably be second degree because they'd say, well, they thought their perception, but they'd have their attorneys in there saying these guys thought they were dealing with a child predator. LDOT, are you suggesting someone does have a right to defend themselves from 12 drunk people? He had every right. Of course he did. His mom made me feel really well. I understand that, LDOT, and that's why she was brought on. And it is very tragic. And this doesn't take away from the tragic nature. Do not believe that I am discrediting the sadness of this. This is extremely sad. He sounded like he had a young man with a bright future. But it also doesn't mean, and again, listen, I believe people should be punished. His friends should be punished. See, here's the thing. What they were doing, that assault, if a felonious assault is occurring, and as a result of that felony, someone dies, then yes, people should be held accountable. And see, that's what's going on here. This is the part that you guys don't understand, or maybe some of you do. But these kids, okay, without saying it, it's them or this man. Because it's either a felonious assault gone wrong, where a man defends himself, and all of those kids that were part of the assault, the ones that are punching, the ones that are inciting, okay, if they're committing a felony and as part of that felony, right, somebody dies, then the state can prosecute them for felony unaliving, okay, and that ruins the life of these kids. So these kids, I'm sure, have been told in uncertain terms there's an importance to them maintaining their story about what happened on this occasion. It's a terrible situation. I'm sure the kids would like to take back all the things they said. I would watch the video unedited for sure. Yes, and their courts are not even holding the kids accountable. That's correct. The kids are walking away, and that's the lesson here. And that's why it's like, kids have to be aware of the consequences of actions. It's not when you're out saying things that they were saying, questioning that a man's a pedophile. That is crazy. And then expecting that, oh, he's just going to be okay with that. I mean, I'm not saying he should have been in any way, I'm not saying that anyone should have died for that. No way. But nobody should have been putting hands on people. But the only reason why the judgment was so bad in this instance is because of the alcohol and the weed and all of that mixed together, and the young testosterone that was floating around that river, and everybody just getting fired up and flared up. You heard what Jawan said. He said, "Oh yeah, we were doing that to everybody all day long. Everybody was getting that," and I believe that because that's how that's what they think is fun. Messing around with people, saying things. Everybody thinks it's funny. Everybody thinks it's a joke, and it's a joke. Yeah, it's a joke, all right. Until this happens, and then it's not a joke anymore. Then it's a tragedy. Then it's a real tragedy. So, anyways, guys, what we're going to do here is we're going to end the AM stream. I'll be back up here probably in about 15 to 20 minutes to start the PM stream and start the back end of this. So I appreciate everybody coming in and watching the morning session with me. I hopefully will see all of you back and then some in the PM stream. So until then, guys, let justice prevail. And hopefully it will for this man. Let's see what else. It looks like I got a couple comments to put up here. Defendant is on video, which I will watch later. Yep. It's all on video, LDOT. The fear of drowning, absolutely, all of that. Against 12 people, he could have been going down. Yep, 100%. All right, guys. So with all of that, we're caught up on comments. So I appreciate everybody that contributed to the comments and chat. Please do so when you come back in the PM session. That's what makes this great. I want to hear from everybody, and I'll see you guys soon.
Inside your eyes, can you feel the rush?